Welcome to Glowing Success. My name is Heidi and I am your host. This podcast is for beauty entrepreneurs. Join me weekly as we dive into the beauty industry's ins and outs, from business strategies, top-selling services, and taboo topics. I will be interviewing industry leaders with empowering stories and game-changing insights. Let's illuminate your path to success together. Let's jump into this next episode. Welcome back to Glowing Success. Today, I am so excited. I have Maria on, and we are going to be talking about building community online and just building the beauty industry up. She is an esthetician, a business owner, and she's the admin of a really large Facebook group that we will be talking about today. So without further ado, welcome, Maria.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to connect and talk about whatever we're going to come up today.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so excited too. Like this is going to be a good one, you guys. So tune in. So Maria, just in case the people don't know who you are, maybe go into a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Maria and I became an esthetician, I think, in 2019. And then during 2020, 2017. I don't even know what date anymore. I think I got licensed 2017 and I tried to go solo 2020. I don't even know the time frame. I think my daughter was born in 2019. I don't know. All the dates are blurred. But anyways, and then I tried to go solo 2020. COVID happened and we got shut down. And then during the pandemic, I started a group called the Money Making Esthetician, where the vision behind it was to create community and for it to be very business focused. So it was less about emotion and more about business. And then it kind of transitioned into a little bit of both. So that's, I guess, a little bit about me, if that answers it.
Yes, I love that. And I love that you shared that you're like, I had to start this through the pandemic.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, because like so many people are probably listening that had the same thing. Now, I will share with the listeners. So, and we'll talk about this more, but the group is called the Money Making Esthetician. And I just looked that you have over 100,000 members in that group. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I cannot believe that.
I can't believe it either. Like, it's so crazy. And I love that you're like, you originally started that group, probably not thinking it was going to grow to that level, I'm guessing. But what was I mean, you were inspired to start the group. You kind of shared a little bit earlier about like, wanting to just start this like business mindset. But, when you first started the group, kind of what were you thinking? Were you just wanting to build community? You wanted to share business tips? You wanted other people to share? What kind of happened with that?
So I had really so many things, actually. So originally, I had a background because I was helping my dad run his business. So I kind of knew a little bit about marketing. And then I remember seeing in another Facebook group that you can make $10,000. And my mind was blown because all I wanted to do was make $3,000. And I thought I had like made it. And so during the pandemic, I used to intern at a record label. And why this is relevant is because I learned how to make really great spreadsheets. So I would literally do all these spreadsheets for a bunch of estheticians, and I was making them for myself, and then I started sharing them. And I was like, these are all the lash courses, this course, and kind of like putting it together. And I was sharing it with everybody. So there was nothing behind it. But the reason why I was doing this is to get like real recommendations on what classes we should actually be taking. For instance, when I first started not my solo practice, but like got into the aesthetics, I took a lash course and I paid $1,700 and learned absolutely nothing. And at the time, there was not a place where we can ask, or at least I didn't know, ask where we can, refer these questions, yada, yada. So then I joined the group, I started the group. And then on top of that, the reason when I saw $10,000, I had recently just split out of my relationship. So now I'm a single parent in LA in a one household income. So I was like terrified. So I kind of used the group as an outlet of like getting organized. And I kind of thought it was like, okay, ladies, we need to get organized. And at the time it was ladies, but now I've used more of a community. But I was like just empathetic towards what I was going through, like a single mom trying to make money in a one household income. But like $10,000 is a lot of money. And how do I get there? So I just started sharing everything myself. Like, okay, this is my plan of attack, and posting it. And I was probably only posting for like myself and my best friend. So there was nobody in there for a very long time. And then it came to the point where I actually wanted to make it a more holistic. So I was bringing in like Kundalini people and breath work and manifestation stuff, because I do believe that entrepreneurship is also like resilience. And how do you get resilience? You just have to have a very resilient mind. And so I kind of wanted it to be like very business focused. Like, okay, like line up, people. We're going to line up and get in order. And this is what we need to do. Like, you need to check your back bar, do this, do that. So more of a like a really intense, and maybe it was me projecting that this is what I needed to do. And that was kind of like my outlet to do that. And then it just started growing. And I remember, I still have the screenshots that I will send to you actually, of like the first time I got 100 people request in a day. And
Oh, I love it.
I was like, Mark, I made it. Like, I had 100 people and I was like on fire.
I
And
love that.
and then I got 10,000 people, and I
Oh,
didn't think it was going to ever go past 10,000. Like,
yeah.
I was like, that's a lot of people, you know? So
Yes. Well, and a lot of groups don't. So I will say that. And I'm not trying to downplay any groups, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about groups. It's just a lot of groups just don't. They don't get
but
that, you know.
I was like, I felt at 10, it sounds cheesy, so sorry, but I felt at 10,000 people, it was like 100,000 people.
Of course.
So I
And
was like, listen, oh my, and I have screenshots, and everybody during the pandemic told me to focus. They're like, focus on your business. Why are you focusing on the group? Because I was like, I spent $75 for my first banner.
yeah.
And when you're not working because you're closed because of COVID, like $75, everybody's like, oh my God, here goes Maria again with another dream. And I
Yep.
just really wanted community.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate. And I remember like I going through like my separation and just the fear that I felt. And I'm very Christian in religion. So if this offends anybody, this is just for me, you know, or other people. I used to always say, like, don't let my pain go unused. Like, and I would pray that over and over and over again. And I would stay up at night, like researching and like figuring out how to make 10K for myself.
Yeah.
And then I put that into the group. So everything I was doing for myself, and actually to this day, I still do that,
Yep.
put it back in the group. But I remember it was just like, don't let this pain go unused. And I always have so much empathy for like my little self, or someone who
Yes.
can empathize with that is in the group. And she's like, just needs that little spark of information or hope or something to get to the next day, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it all really started when you shared with me about like when you used to make spreadsheets of like education or other things to share with other people. Like how amazing just was that? And then it transpired into what it is today. And I think why your group maybe has grown to the size it has is because people feel that. They feel that vibe, they get that energy, like they know that the questions are genuine inside that group. Like I mean, there is a lot of information out there to share. And unfortunately, sometimes in this industry, we are a little bit afraid or a little bit shy to share it because we don't know what other people are going to say, you know, and it can be really like, you can just not share it. I was, you know, I think I shared with you earlier that when we weren't recording that I have been in the beauty industry 23 years. And mind you, when I first started in the industry, there wasn't all this social media, but like it was such a different industry. So like a lot of people did not share anything that worked for them. They didn't share educational things. They didn't share, you know what I'm saying? And so like it was a very different type industry. Like, don't get me wrong, people definitely were friends and like, you know, everybody did lift each other up in certain ways. But like a lot of times if you didn't work in the same salon or spa, you were not sharing what was working for your business. You weren't sharing the education you're getting, you know. So I love that about today's society. I love that about the internet and like social media in general. Like I think that it's really brought this new wave of like, hey, we can all succeed in this industry. But I do think like it is good to share those things, you know, because like you said, you've taken unfortunately courses that didn't work out for you and you want to share that experience with others. So maybe they, you know, don't waste their money or constructively so that person can improve their course. I mean, there's so many different reasons why these groups are so important, but I think the community aspect is huge just because like we all are starting in very similar situations generally, but we don't feel that way. I don't know if you agree with this, but like we kind of all feel like, and the sentiment I was getting when you were talking earlier too was like, we all kind of feel a little bit alone sometimes because
100%.
right? Like you kind of feel like, am I just doing this? Like, am I doing this alone? Or like, has anybody else experienced this? Or like, you kind of are speaking into a void sometimes. But I do feel like that's why people love going to these groups online, because you can find community, you can find the answers to the questions that you're dying about, you can find the, the information that you're like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for something like this, like, it's amazing. I mean, I think it's amazing for those reasons. Now, obviously, like, it's such a great door opening opportunity for a lot of people too, because one thing that I've seen that's a positive from groups too is like, you get the connection to somebody else. So obviously I connected with you for that reason. I was a part of this group and I saw what you're doing and I was like, hey, I have a podcast. I would love to have you on. That started. But if I didn't join that group, I would have never known you, probably, because I live in Minnesota, you live in California, like.
I actually think you and I connected like in 2020, like
Oh my
way
God.
forever ago.
I love that. Oh, see, this is like how the
It
brain
was
works. As you get older, it's like you just can't remember things.
it was so like I don't know. I think you're always nice. Like it was so long ago, and I don't even
Yes.
think my group was like the first one. I don't
No,
even
God,
know
no.
if I don't like the one that what's funny is I remember being in another group, and that's when I was like, I think it was at the time the biggest group, and I
Mhm.
don't know what happened, but people were fighting,
Yep.
and the esthetician changed it to the esthetician dumpster fire. Do you remember that?
Oh, I don't, but I can only imagine.
But it was a great group before that, and maybe the
Yeah.
admin just snapped.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why would you do that? This was such a good group." And it was like, but now maybe I don't know,
Yeah.
but and
But
then
that's a good
everything was like,
example of getting help, like, you can't do it all yourself.
but I
You
think
know?
people were fighting. I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyways, I just
It's so
remember.
funny.
I
Well,
remember
every
it was,
group is different.
but that's when I saw that. That's when it was that one, and there's another one that I really like. Sam's group that's called
Oh,
the
yeah.
Unapologetic Esthetician.
Yes.
I personally love Sam. She was such an inspiration to me. But I liked that everybody, well, the admins were so themselves, and the group kind
Yes.
of turned into like I love Sam's group because like if you want to go to a group and you just want to go for it, go for it. And
Yeah.
she's at the same time she is very respectful and responsible. So yes, but also like I feel like my group is very much like I'm always in my feelings. Like I probably cry once a day, which probably sounds crazy, but like either out of gratitude, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I just wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yes.
And I feel like that shows.
It does. Yeah, no, I that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it totally shows that you care about that group, you care about the questions, like you care about the comments, like you care about the members, like, and I will admit I'm a part of a lot of groups on Facebook because there's so many reasons. So like, I want to be part of groups because like I need help, or I want advice for my own spa business, or the same thing for my coaching business, right? Like, there's so many facets of why we're online. And then sometimes I just look at it as like, I want to be abreast to any new information, because I feel like once you've been in the industry a long time, you're not seeking out new services, you're not seeking out new products, but you want to be aware of them because our clients are. So I think like there's just
I
so
love that.
many, right? There's so many reasons to be a part of groups. And I will say every single group I'm a part of, they are a very different, like they're all very
Really?
different from each other. Yeah, they're very different vibes, very different people, very different questions. They also have very different points, right? Like yours is very business focused, obviously money making esthetician. So like you can imagine just from the name, if you're listening, you're like, yeah, that will give me an indication of what that group's about. Some of them are just very product focused. Some of them are very education focused. Like I love that about the groups because they're all so different and versatile, but like you have to find your groups out there. So like if you're listening and you're like, I really haven't found any Facebook groups that I love and I'm a part of and I feel a community with, or I feel like I'm learning, or I feel like I'm getting the information I'm seeking, just keep on looking for other groups because you will find them. Like they are out there. Like there's so many, but this specific group that we are talking about today, I hope you join after listening to this because it's a great environment. There's a lot of great information in there. Now, share a little bit with the listener about what you do inside your group, because let's say you have somebody listening that has never joined a Facebook group, doesn't understand how they work, like doesn't understand the opportunities within. Because, personally for me, when I first started Facebook groups, I didn't know that you could go live in there. I didn't know there's all sorts of stuff you can do. So maybe go into a little bit of detail about like what people can experience if they've never joined a Facebook group.
I'm okay. I want to answer this, but then after I want to talk about the different Facebook groups because I saw something like someone post something about a group, but I'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Love.
So, in my group, I specifically wanted to bring the brands to life. And you're like, brands to life? Like, what is that? So that's where I went out and found different partnerships. I noticed the questions, and I actually didn't get any partnerships, and I didn't do anything for 2 years because I really wanted to find out where it wasn't my group, it's our group. So I was trying to figure out how I can best serve. And through serving, what does serving look like? Like, so I'm just answering questions and giving information. But then I was like, where do I bring the brands to life? Like, so for example, I've partnered with like Dermajam or Spa Finder, Bush Balm, and we give educational content in the group. So I remember like, or skin script. And I remember taking a skin script class and like not knowing what I was doing. But then we do lives in the group where it's like, this is how you're going to perform this modality in this specific way. And you're able to ask questions to the owners, get questions and information. And I like this because, for example, like getting a hydroderm machine is not a cheap ticket. And it's like, do you align with the brand? Do you like the brand? And then you're actually able to be like, what's the customer service like? So you're just able to make an informed decision versus like hiding behind a website. Like there's so much information online, and it seems like, are you even real? So like, for example, partnering with Green Envy, we're going to do a demo next week, or Korean skincare. You're able to actually see if your philosophies align and make an educated purchase and know like the protocols prior. So it might take you 6 months to actually make that leap. But when you leap, like you know exactly who you're talking to, what you're doing. So that's kind of where that came from, bringing like brands to life because everybody wants to know what they're purchasing. I feel like the estheticians now are way more savvy, and they're like want to know what they're buying into. Is it an like
Yeah.
I partner with a hydro jelly one, and I love her because she's like really taking that risk, and it makes me excited because it just really shows where an esthetician's career can go. Like Dermagem, she was an esthetician. The Hydro Jelly Mask, she was an esthetician. So it's really exciting, or even like sales rep or affiliates, like that kind of stuff. Or like Luma, what is it, Lumos or something. But you're able to actually know, do I like this product? Do I want to use this product? So that's kind of where the live demos came. And then second, it comes into like, it's not just product focused though, because I do try my very best to keep it brand neutral with obviously promoting brands that I know and believe because I'm going to refer them anyways. But then, for example, someone can come in and be like, what's a new brand? Epicutis, like, and ask an Epicutis question before
Hmm.
they open that $1,500 order.
Yeah. And
You know
that's
what I
huge. Oh my
That's
gosh,
a
that's
lot of
huge.
money.
Because back in the day, without these groups and without that opportunity, I mean, you could go to their website, you can request a demo because I know a lot of companies offer demos, or you can even request a rep to come out to you. But those people are just there to try to sell you it. So, like,
Yeah.
there's not, because like during the lives, people are asking questions. People are, so I've seen that people will answer questions as they're doing their lives. I will see, like, there's so many different opportunities there. And I think that's huge because when it comes to making your decisions, you need as much information as possible because like you said, some of these things are not cheap and it's an investment into your career. It's an investment into your business. Like, but wouldn't you want all the information you can to make that decision? Like, I love this. Oh, keep going. Sorry.
No, I love like thank you. But that was basically my idea for it. I'm like, okay, how can I help answer the questions? For example, Spot Finder, right? As people are like, how do I get clients in the door? And I'm like, Spot Finder. And they're like, but isn't that like Groupon? And actually it's nothing like Groupon. But you're able to look at the live and get real informed decisions. And you're literally seeing your rep's face right there. So that's why I'm like is a certain level of trust, and then it's also the brands have to now take the time to earn and educate you. So now they have to earn your business and educate you. And now I kind of have taken it a little step further where like I'm talking to the brands and kind of being like, you should make marketing for the estheticians, or like why not drop down your opening order, or like, hey, if I give you XYZ, will you do a giveaway? So it's kind of been like that kind of stuff to be able to see what the estheticians want and like, and then going
Yeah.
back to the brands and be like, this is what I've seen. I don't know what you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you have that community. That community can answer right away. They can fact find right away. Like, oh, it's so amazing. Like, There's so many things that I wish were around when I first was in this industry. This
And
is
I
one of
don't, and
them.
the thing is, really, I don't.
Yes, I wish that was in I do because yeah, like I said, it was very hard to find information early on. It was very hard to trust people early on because you didn't know what their intentions were. Like it was so crazy. So now I love that community environment because yeah, you can see how other people have used something. You can see if other people have success stories, they can share with you. Like there's so much that happens and it's so yeah, that wealth of
And
knowledge,
then
man.
what gets me really excited is then there it's a so I try to make it as private as possible. So that's kind of why I do my best to try to moderate it and be able to let any questions come in. Because I was like, you don't know what you don't know until you know, if that makes sense. So, like, for example, someone will come in and be like, I just dermaplaned this person, microderm them, and put a lactic acid. And estheticians will be like, oh, and like you totally can't post that on Instagram. Like it has to be in a private community. And then I love it because so many estheticians will come in and like be like, okay, well, this is where you went wrong. And this is what you can do right. And this is what you're gonna do one. So like this past weekend, somebody did like an extraction that didn't go well. And that is kind of what I because I'm like naturally a protector. I hate when people get picked on. Oh my God. I've been like
Yeah,
that
me
forever.
too. Yep.
It just makes me so upset.
I
So
know,
that's
because we all have to learn somewhere.
literally I was like, if I could tell you guys the mistakes I've made. Um, and I have to go in there and I know like I approve I wait to hold to approve the post until I could comment on there, and I'll be like, if you don't have anything constructive to say, like just keep it to yourself. Like nobody wants to hear you suck. I already feel like I suck. Thank you. Like, but I'm here for actual help. So that's when I'll go in and be like, if you don't have anything constructive to say, please just don't comment. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you already feel terrible.
Yeah,
Like
but
you
you're
don't need to
looking for
beat me.
feedback, and that's the whole
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people realize that, like, when you've made a mistake or when you're seeking out information because you don't know something, it is really scary to make that post and put it on the internet. Like, it takes
100%.
a
I'm
lot of
scared.
courage, right? It takes a lot of courage, so, like, I always try to come from that kind heart because I'm like, "Listen, not only have I made mistakes in the past in my career, but I will continue to make mistakes because we're ever evolving, we're ever learning." You know? So it's like
100%. But then,
yeah.
so those kind of questions are answered. Like somebody said they had a very bad experience with the mail. And I love that she was so open and about it. And that's, I've had, I've had complaints about the anonymous post, but that's why I leave it on because a lot of times we could feel victim shamed. Like it's my fault that he did what he did and I made myself susceptible to it. So when she posted that and she posted it anonymously, she got a lot of people being like, this happened to me too. And now she doesn't feel so ashamed of what happened.
Yeah.
So those are that's kind of the community I wanted to build to be able to really have a space to ask those tough questions. Cause like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm an anxious attacher. So if that was to happen to me, I would be looping it in my head all day
Right.
until I got reassurance.
Yeah. And how are you going to learn from it? Right. So, like, I had a client the other day that I hadn't seen in a while, which is fine because, everything ebbs and flows. So I don't worry about those kind of things. But anyway, she came back in and she's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you for a while. I've been going to a girl that's closer to my house." And I was like, "Oh, that's amazing. Well, I'm glad to see you today." And then she explained to me that the reason she came back to me, even though I'm farther away or probably not as convenient to her, is because I have a comfortable environment. My chair is comfortable and so forth. And she said the other girl that she went to, she was like, I loved everything about her service. Like her service went well, like her conversation was good, but her chair or table was so uncomfortable that I couldn't handle it by the end of the service. My back was hurting so bad. And I asked this client, I said, "Hey, did you share that with that service provider?" And she goes, "No, I don't think I'll share that." And I said, "I really want you to share that with that service provider because that service provider is never going to know that. So what if every single person was having that same experience, but nobody shared that with her? She's never going to know. She's going to think that people are just not coming back to her for so many other reasons. And so I told her, I was like, I don't know how comfortable you are with sharing this, but like, I would really, really, really share that. However you can do that, just share it because she's going to benefit from that information because now she can change that and enhance that experience, talk about it, be transparent about it." But I was like, that is so true for like everything in the industry. Like, how are we going to know what we don't know? Like you said earlier, like there's just so many things out there that we could be improving upon, or we didn't know that information existed until we know. So I think that's amazing.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's actually, that was really kind of you to tell her that, because I do feel bad for that esthetician who probably is like, nobody likes me. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, you just need a mattress topper.
Yeah. 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 Send a memory foam. I'm all about helping estheticians, or but specifically just helping the beauty industry and elevating it, because at the end of the day, if we're all succeeding, everybody's going to succeed across the board, kind of thing. So, and I know that there's enough clients out there for everyone. I also know that we are going to attract people that, are our ideal clients. So like, scarcity is not my mindset when it comes to business and when it comes to the industry. And so I'm always willing to help another person. Even when I was renting in the salon suites, I've rented 2 different salon suites, and I always would help every single person around me if I felt it necessary, and if it organically came up. Of course, I'm not going to just interject, but because I do feel like, yes, we're strong in numbers, number one, and then number two, like, if I wasn't shared this information in my career, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. And so I've been very grateful for feedback from not only other service providers in the industry, but I've been really grateful for the feedback of my clients, because then I can actually fix and correct the things that weren't working. But how are we going to know that information until somebody tells us, or we find it another way? So like, that's why I think like Facebook groups and stuff are so necessary, because yeah, you're going to find out not only maybe that amazing service or product that you've been, wanting to ask questions about. Maybe they're going to do a live, but you can also see those questions like that people are too nervous or too, scared to ask. Maybe somebody else has already asked it. Like, and so I think that's really cool, because we're learning, we're ever evolving.
Ever evolving.
But I love Facebook groups for that reason. I like why you started this group, because you were coming from a really genuine place. Like, you wanted a group that you weren't finding. You wanted something that you needed in your life, and you found that many other people needed the same. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, I felt, I mean, are you religious? And you don't have to, you could just say
I'm
yes.
not. I don't believe in organized religion, but I'm spiritual.
Spirit. Okay, yes. So I love that you say spiritual, because when you just feel something, you're just meant to do something.
Intuition.
Yes.
Intuition.
And
Hmm.
I just like it, just the idea and the vision of the group was just so solid for me.
Yeah.
And like I it was obsessive.
Yeah, I feel the same way about my coaching business. Like, I've been doing my spa business, my service-based business for 13 years now. And probably in the last 2 years, I started my coaching business. And I will say, like, and a lot of people ask me, like, well, why are you starting another business? You already have a very successful business. And I
Right.
tell them, like, intuition, like, it just feels something. I'm feeling drawn to it. I'm feeling called to it. I feel happy when I'm doing, like, there's just something about that. So I totally get that. Like, you can't deny it.
I've always been very like motivational. So like with my friends, I'm like, it's okay. Wait, even when it came to like working out, right?
I love
And like
that.
I'd be the person who like picking up my friend to go to the gym because she like wants to lose weight and has like a wedding. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yes.
that's just always, I'm very motherly, like nurturing and motherly,
Yeah.
and like we're all friends. Let's be besties. Like it's just always
Yes.
really natural to me.
We need that in the industry.
I feel like we do have it. I feel like
Yes.
at least the people that I've been, who I've came across.
Yeah. Now, is there anything new and exciting or fun coming out with your group? Like, your group has always got something going on. There's always new posts every day. There's always new lives. There's always new. What can the listener, if they're wanting to join your group, what can they get excited about in the next coming months here?
What I'm actually really trying to focus on, so this is probably sounds interesting. I'm actually scared to get too big. I don't want to water the group down. So I am very careful about who I now let into the group, because I want to keep the community that we've built. So I do actually go one by one to approve and deny people. So I'm more focused on quality than quantity of the group. And recently I partnered with Aesthetics Council, and her name is Susan. And I feel like we're really strong in numbers. So the things that I'm kind of getting excited about is, like, for example, her and I really much align. Obviously, Okay, so I name it the Money Making Esthetician. And why that is so passionate to me is I'm a mom and I could only work. I drop my daughter off at 8, but I can't start till 9. So you gotta like set up your room, yada yada. And I pick her up at 2:30. So it means I need to be done by 2. And so in that short amount of time, I need to be able to make enough money to pay my, brick and mortar and my rent and my life and all these expenses that come through to it. And why this is relevant is because when I had to partner with Susan, she wants to go to like California and like pass certain laws to be able to do more and do continuing education and all that kind of stuff. And then she wants to go to like Michigan and like kind of do a little more advocacy work. And now I started a chat that says, is it in my scope? So that, for example, even the like people that we partner with or people that you hear over there and like, you can buy this machine. It's like, well, can you? So that's the kind of stuff that I'm really excited about now is like also helping with that. And you can make an informed decision. I know a lot of people who don't do things within scope, which is scary, but at least you know what you're doing and you're not getting sold something that you shouldn't be buying, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what's really exciting. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to just be consistent. And this was the same thing last year. Like I want to keep the group what it is and maybe bring more education. I'm going to be doing a live on somebody who identifies as non-binary in
Oh.
the beauty industry, which
Mhm.
I'm really excited about because she's like talking about how we should label things their like anatomy
Yeah.
versus like Brazilian and male. So that's kind of exciting to me. But
Yep.
just continuing to like educate and like I really scour the group to be like, hey, do you want to do a live on this? Do you want to do a live on this? Like, so whatever I see that people are kind of gearing to.
Yep.
Um, so I guess like I feel like trying to maintain the quality is very difficult.
Yeah. But you're doing great. So everything you just said, I feel like you can feel it and it's there. Yeah. And
Oh, that
I get what you're saying when you're like, I don't want it to get too crazy because at some point, I think that there's groups out there that unfortunately they get so big that they kind of lose the focus of why the group started and what the group is about. And it really takes its own kind of vessel. And so I appreciate you for doing that because
right.
people know when they go to this group, that is exactly what they're going to get is that type of information. So I think that's
And
great.
now things that I've found interesting in the group now, which you and I have spoke about before, is again, I didn't expect for it to get like big. This was just supposed to be a place for us to talk about like business and how to get to 10K or how to like do an S corp or an LLC, like those kinds of questions, or like what product should I use? But now it's gotten to the point where it's like censorship. So I'm trying to like not censor the group, but at the same time, like there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. Like, is this defamation and slander, or is it just people speaking? So I'm trying to navigate those waters
Yep.
because like I don't know if I can be held liable for that kind of stuff. So it's like I'm like, even though I didn't comment it, is it my responsibility for allowing the comments? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tricky. And and these are the things you're just learning as you go.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you get intimidated by making decisions in your either career, business, or both, just know that we're all doing the same.
Yeah. And when you had said earlier about like finding your group, I love that you said that because it's so true. Like you can find your own group where you find you're hurt. And there's a ton of amazing groups out there.
Yeah.
It's just with
For
mine
different reasons.
for different reasons, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
And for mine, I was just like, I tell everybody like, let's be nice because you just never know what somebody's going through. Like
Yep.
there was one where this girl comments to her and she's like, take a chill pill. And the
Mhm.
girl who she said take a chill pill like freaked out and said a lot of mean things. So I immediately suspend her because she's like going off in the comment. And I
Yeah.
DM her and I said, hey, like, we good? What's up?
Yeah.
And then she just told me that like her mom passed away and she really did
Aw.
up her chill pill.
Yeah.
And so all these things, but I was like, I totally get it. But like calling somebody the B word and the C word,
Yeah.
probably
Can't
like,
do that.
yeah, like, can we not do that? So when
Yeah.
I say like, you just never know, what I'm really saying is just like, let's respect for the community for what it is. It's a
Yeah.
great business resource.
Yeah.
And
And just remember why you joined the group. Like, what were
Yeah,
you joining the group for? Like, for me, I love business and I love marketing. So I joined the group because I love all those things. I love talking about
that's
those things. I love sharing information about those things. And so for me, that was the reason I joined it. And so I will continue to stay there for those reasons. And so like, I do think, yeah, we always kind of have to remind ourselves, like when we're getting into our feelings, which we all are going to do because we're human beings, it's natural. Um,
sometimes.
why are we getting in our feelings? Number one, be a little bit like introspective, but like also, remember why you joined the group, because I do think that that's important to kind of keep ahead of all of the questions or all the comments.
How did you find the group?
I was searching. I searched groups. I like went to the search bar and I was searching for groups that, kind of aligned with what I was looking for. Cause like I was saying earlier, I had joined a lot of groups, but they weren't necessarily serving me in every kind of way. So I was really essentially looking for a group that was about business in this industry. And because a lot of the groups I was a part of during that time were just really product focused and really like service focused. And I was like, I already have my niche. I already have like all my grind with that. So like I'm looking for other perspective when it comes to business. I want other perspective and so I was searching for that essentially. But that's kind of essentially how I come with a lot of my finds. Like even like Minnesota has a Minnesota esthetician group. I was searching for joining other estheticians that live close to my area, so I searched for that group and I found it. So like for me, that's kind of where all my mindset is I'm always like on the hunt for it, unless somebody shares it with me, of course. But I've definitely had groups shared with me before, like I think it's like the Women's Helping Entrepreneurial Women or group or something. It's a very large group too. Like I was shared that group by another person. They were like, "Oh, you should join this group." But how I found Money Making Esthetician group is I was actually seeking that out. So, but oh my
Very
gosh.
cool.
Yeah, how amazing, right? So if you're listening, definitely join the group, or she will approve it or not. I don't know. So I can't tell you if you're gonna get into the
Well,
group.
okay, so how I approve the group is you just have to answer the questions. You have to have a
Perfect.
picture,
Yep.
answer the questions,
Yep. And
because
hopefully be licensed or not. I don't know if that
I'm a
matters as
student.
much.
You have to
Okay.
either be a student or be licensed. But
Okay.
because so I always try to get people who like want to do marketing in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a group for that. You
Yep.
know what I
There
mean? There
totally
is a
is.
group for that.
Yes. Yep. There is. Yep.
But I
I'm a
want to, yeah,
Yep.
there's a group for that. Just
There's a
go
group. That should be like our new slogan. There's a group for that.
literally, and that's the thing is like it was funny because of the questions I was like they were very specific business focused questions, and I was like,
Yes.
listen, there because somebody's like, I'm so sad, I broke up with my significant other. I was like, there is a group for that, and I'm in it. Would you like
Yes.
me to share you? Or would you like me to share you the link?
See, you're helping. I love that. So definitely think about it, people. Like if you're interested in anything when it comes to business building in this industry, I have found this group to be very, very helpful. I found the community
Aw.
to be very helpful. Yes. And just know that there is a group out there for you. I highly suggest also joining local groups. I tell people this all the time. Like if your local area has, specifically, we're talking to estheticians mostly in this episode, but if you're wherever you are, whether city or state, because my state just has a group, my city does not. And I find that to be kind of common. You'll find like a California group or a Minnesota group. Look for your state too, because I do think that those are helpful for many different reasons. Like, but these other groups, like we're talking about today, are just as helpful, if not more, because they have so many different perspectives and so many different people inside of them. Maria, thank you so much for being on today. Now, anybody that's listening, of course, I will put in the show notes of how to join the Money Making Esthetician group, but where else can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram. My website is the Money Making ESTI or moneymakingesthetician.com.
Amazing. And of course, I will put that in the show notes. But once again, thank you, Maria, for being on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you liked that episode and found something useful or a tip that you can use immediately. If you are wanting more marketing tips, business tips, or anything like that, I have a lot of resources on my website. So I have PDFs that you can download for free. So look in your show notes. There should be a link in the show notes that you can click on and it'll take you right to my coaching website. And thanks for listening.